Okay.
Okay, it's recording. Okay. We are live in this piece. Let me so I can see the comments. All right. Okay. Welcome, everybody. Uh, my name is Grace, and this is Latika Vines. The topic today we're going to talk about is the life of a boss mom. Before I introduce Latika, I'm going to, of course, introduce myself. But the purpose of me doing this live is really to discuss, just pretty much, I'll be discussing with Latika how she maintains a life of peace, prestige, purpose, and prosperity, right? Because she's a boss mom coach. She works in a high demanding career. She also runs a household. So those different things can kind of get a little bit challenging in life. As women, we hold many hats, and we can also, go through a lot of stress and be overwhelmed. So I kind of wanted to bring her on so we can have a discussion of how she manages and juggles everything. So, as I said, my name is Grace. I am the creator and founder of Smile Biz LLC. It's a personal development company where I teach high performing women how to live a balanced lifestyle so they can be able to live a life of peace, prestige, purpose, and prosperity, the four P's. I'm also by trade, by profession, a certified psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner. I'm also a transformational coach. So that's about it. Everybody. Also, I'm a single mother of one. That's important. I am a single mother of one. I know what it is to try to balance it all. Work in private practice. I see at least over 200 patients. Plus, I run a company, so it ain't easy. But by the grace of God, I'm able to do everything that He has purposed me to do. So this is Latika, y'all. Latika is the founder of Visionary Initiative LLC, a career development and coaching organization. She helps working moms transfer their career visions into initiative through work and life balance. Whether you're creating your own work or life balance through operating your own business or mastering your corporate job, Latika coaches and teaches working moms how to prioritize themselves to get to the next level in their career. She's also a published author. She is the founder of Boss Mom Society and a podcaster. So you see Latika just like she be doing her thing, y'all. She be doing her thing.
Oh my
So
goodness.
welcome everybody. Those who are gonna come on now, later, catch replay, don't even matter. I just want to welcome you guys. So let's just go ahead and get started. Latika, let's just go straight to the punch about what made you, before we start talking about the challenges that you face as a working mom, kind of like what made you want to be a boss mom coach? I mean, what kind of like pushed you into that? Like what's your story?
So, without getting too deep, because I'm gonna get into it deeper later, um, me going through my personal experience of having 4 kids and attempting to balance life, fail is what pushed me to create visionary initiatives. Because I realized I was not the only one who was struggling. I wasn't the only one who was snapping at their kids. I wasn't the only one who was snapping at their husband. I wasn't the only one who resented their husband because he was able to do anything while I sat back and was at home doing everything. So all of those emotions caused me to start Visionary Initiatives 2 years ago. So it has been a blessing to be able to touch over 100 moms, working moms, have some sort of balance in their life. And I've been blessed to speak at organizations, host my own events for working moms, just for them to have that balance and then also understand that they can be the leader in their career. Because that's what a boss mom is. A boss mom is someone who is a leader not only in their career, but also at home with the skills that you have to have a successful career. are the same skills you need to have a satisfying marriage, to have a great motherhood experience. So it's so important that we can be leaders in both aspects of our lives and do it with balance.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head with that one. The same leadership skills. Like you still gotta
Mhm.
have time management skills. You still have to be able to know how to prioritize, be organized, and listen. It's hard with one child. I can't even imagine four. Jesus, my goodness. Oh my goodness. Like trying to just even with this whole telework thing going on,
Yeah.
and I've always done telehealth, but even just with the virtual learning, trying to stay
Mhm.
organized with everything, it ain't easy. It ain't easy. So my God, my hats go out to you. Go girl. So
You
that
are
should just
hilarious.
what'd you say?
You are hilarious.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I know it ain't easy. Um, so that actually segues us right into the next question, which is what are the
Mhm.
three main challenges you face as a working mom?
So, Grace, I really had to sit down and think, what are or were my challenges as a working mom? And the three that I'm sure will resonate with many moms are putting my needs and health last,
Mm,
the lack of family support,
yeah,
and then also not having a job that supports me to be able to be in the career position that I feel I need or like to be. Also, having the balance to be a mom and a wife at home.
yeah,
And I'm sure that resonates with a lot of women today, especially now. And I think it's so important for us to understand what our challenges are, because we
mhm,
had challenges before COVID.
yeah,
We had challenges,
yeah,
but now it's so important for us to do that self-assessment. What are my challenges for real? Now that we're home, we're able to really be still and
mhm,
know, is this the job that I really need? Are they really supporting me? Um, are individuals supporting me? The support I thought I had, do I really have? So this time really, I believe, forces us to really think twice about the challenges we used to have and what the challenges are today. And not even including virtual learning and trying to keep
right,
up with all of that, but just the challenges of putting yourself last, putting your health last,
mhm,
your family support. I know we're in COVID, but we can still have that family support.
right.
You know? So I think this is an opportune time for us to truly ask ourselves that question: what are our challenges today?
That's good. That's really good. I can definitely identify with the job thing,
Yeah.
I am a professional working woman. I'm a provider in private practice, and some days it can be very challenging because it's like, although I love working outpatient, where's the flexibility when you work at a 9 to 5? Where's that flexibility when, I have maybe an engagement, speaking engagement or something I'm trying to do, but I'm working a 9 to 5. I have to rearrange my scheduling and all that stuff so I can be able to do those things that I want to do, go for my passion. Although what I do for a living is part of my calling and my purpose. At the same token, it's like, well, you draw the line. You have to kind of
Right.
like that flexibility. Like, is this job really supporting me for my long term goals? This is where I am right now, but I'm always asking God, like, is it time for me to shift? Is this discomfort I'm feeling time for me to shift, or is this a place you keeping me for me to gain character? Are you building me character here? So I can definitely identify with that job support because I love what I do. I'm passionate about what I do. I love working in mental health. But at the same token, I know also where my long term goals are in building
Mhm.
my business. So it's like it is difficult sometimes to get that support. When you're building a business and you're working for someone else, it's like I'm building, helping you build your dream. You know what I mean?
Right,
So, so
right.
it's like
Mhm,
it's a tug of war thing. It's definitely a tug
it
of
is.
war thing. So I definitely understand what you're saying. So
Mhm.
pick one challenge, one of those challenges that you stated. How did you overcome it? Or even if you're still dealing with it now, how are you managing it?
So, one of the challenges that I believe I've overcome, but I'm still working at every single day is making sure I make myself a priority.
Mm,
And when I was diagnosed with postpartum depression in March of 2018, it was very clear that I was making myself last on the list. Um, I, as I mentioned before, I had so much resentment in my heart.
yeah.
And I truly did not like, when I say I hated my job, I hated my job. I hated Monday mornings because I knew I would have to get up, deal with that Monday commute into DC, and go to a job that didn't support me, didn't like me, didn't want me, all of that. So it's all of these emotions and having to deal with a commute and then 4 kids and a husband. And I was going crazy, literally. And so I finally went to the doctor because my husband, he literally forced me to the doctor. And that's where the diagnosis came about. And so she, right then and there, said, "You're taking 2 weeks off from work."
Mm,
So she wrote me a note. And I love my doctor because she was just like, "This is what we're gonna put in the note so that you can stay." So she wrote the note, and I stayed home for 2 weeks. And she said, "I really need you to find somebody." She gave me some referrals. "Need you to find someone, and you need to go talk to them."
mm,
And so I was able to sit down and understand after talking to someone that it was my job. It was my job that was
mhm,
causing me so much stress. It was my job that, and the people that were causing me the lack of peace.
mm,
But what um, what was happening was that I was struggling with keeping a balance of, okay, I don't like the job, but I still need to make sure that I shift my emotions from the job when I
mhm,
come home, that I'm loving, that, I don't take those feelings out on my
mhm,
family. So I
mhm,
had to readjust that. But I also realized that I was blaming everyone else for my issues.
yeah.
And what that meant for me was, and I give you 3 examples: weight gain. Even though it was 7 months since I had my daughter, um, and when I was diagnosed with postpartum, I was gaining weight. And I was like, "Oh, it's because of the baby. It's because
Mhm,
I've had these kids and I'm
yeah.
not getting any older. And, I'm over 30 now. And so my body doesn't do the things that it did when I had my first child when I was
Just
20."
making a bunch of excuses.
Exactly. Exactly. So I'm blaming the kids for weight gain. And
Mm,
then stress. I was stressed
mm,
out, but I was blaming my environment for stress.
mm,
The kids were getting on my nerves. I don't know what my husband was going through, and I was resenting him and the job. Like I was blaming everybody else. And then the third thing was a lack of peace.
mm,
I was blaming the job and my family and stuff I was going through with other family members. And when I had to do a self discovery to realize, Latika, why are you blaming everybody else for your issues?
mm,
Those are not everybody else's issues. Those are your issues. Those are
right.
your problems. And I was like, oh, really? You know?
Mhm,
it was really a slap in the face kind of thing where I really had to wake up and realize I need to be in control of
Mhm,
me.
mhm,
I
mhm.
can't let everybody and everything be in control of me.
Right.
And so I had to identify why I was blaming everyone and why I wasn't taking accountability for my actions or lack of actions.
Yeah.
So, um, during that process of doing that self discovery, I realized, oh my goodness, there are other people who are going through this.
Mm.
And so I wrote everything down of what I went through. And I did 3 steps, self assessment. So, really became aware of what I needed, stop blaming everyone and hold myself accountable for what I really want. And
Yeah.
then the second was, how can I work smarter? How can I be more productive so that when I am home, I can use my time wisely? So I
Yes.
really had to ask myself, what did those things include? And then the third was, what was going to be my strategy? How can
Mhm.
I blend or harmonize or integrate, balance both my life and my career? And it fit like a glove, that
Right.
there were no issues, if you will, with trying to do both at the same time. And so
Yeah.
I came up with the Boss Mom Foundation because, again, in order for us to be leaders at home and in our career, we got to have some type of foundation.
Yeah.
And one of the things I realized is if you ever take a look at a juggler, when you're at the circus or any other place, the juggler has his or her feet placed on solid ground and their core is tight. If you ever see their posture, their core is tight, their back is straight, and they're only moving their upper body, their arms, sometimes
Mhm.
their head, but their foundation is firm. And
Mm.
I felt like as a juggler, we as working moms need to do the same thing. We need to
Yeah.
have a firm foundation,
Mhm.
to be able to do what we have to do,
Right.
as moms, as wives, as boss moms.
Mhm.
So it was important for me to make sure that I can share that with the world.
Yeah.
So
I
I was
think we
able
did.
to, yes, I was able to overcome that, still have my days, but
Mhm.
I remember the things that I did to help me get past. So I really, since then, have been on a mission to be able to help as many moms as I can to overcome and not deal with or experience the things that I went through. Because no one wants to be snapping at their toddler because of
Yeah.
the stress at
Yeah.
work. No one
Yeah.
wants to really resent their husband. That's their husband, that's the father of their children. They don't want to resent him. You
Right.
know, maybe there's some communication that needs to happen between the two of you for
Mhm.
both of you to have expectations.
Right.
So it's so important, to help as many people as possible to overcome and not experience what I went through because no one wants to go through that.
Absolutely. That is so amazing. It's amazing that you was able to, have that self-awareness anyway, because there's a lot of people walking around with lack of self-awareness. And I always, even as I tell my clients and tell my patients, you can't fix something you can't acknowledge. You know what I mean? It's impossible to do that. So it's
Yep.
important that we take that time. Everything's a process. It's important that we take that time to have that self-awareness and be able to process the good, the bad, and the ugly of us. And it's not it's not a cute process. It's
No.
not a cute process, but if you really want to move forward, you got to be honest with yourself and transparent with yourself. Okay, you know what? This is A, B, and C. I see about myself, especially when other people are looking in and telling you too. You can't be walking around offense, always offended by what people are telling you, because if they see something, they may see blind spots that they
Right.
may see things, but there's blind spots to you that you need to work on. point that you have to have that self-awareness. That self-discovery is the first key. In nursing school, the nursing process that we learned, the first thing is assessment, as you just said,
Mm.
self-discovery. So you have to, before you can even come up with a plan for your life, you need to know where you at. You need to know exactly where you at, where you stand, and start doing that self-discovery process so you can see what the problems are. You can't fix something that you don't even know that exists.
Right.
So I'm glad that that was good that you was able to set up a blueprint for
Mhm.
yourself, and to a point where it's clear that you can execute it and show other people how to do it as well. So that's amazing. So anyone who's just tuning in, my name is Grace. I'm speaking to Latika Vines. She is a boss mom coach. She really helps women be able to have a balanced lifestyle between their career and motherhood and everything in between. So I'm talking to her about her life and how she maintains this balance in her life so she can be able to continue to walk in her calling, continue to be prosperous, continue to have that peace that she was talking about, and also definitely prestige as well. So Latika, you participated in the 5 day challenge I did a couple weeks ago. Um,
Mhm.
and the session that you did was about leveling up in your career home. So you
Yes.
kind of already kind of touched base a little bit about the blueprint that you have, and the steps that you use. So can you discuss like just one specific tool that you use really to kind of help you live that life of peace, prestige, purpose, and prosperity?
Yes. It is amazing because um, when we think about a tool, we think about an actual object or an app or
Mhm.
some type of tool to help fix something.
Right.
And a lot of times, those tools are what we already have within ourselves.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
so for me, one of the tools that really has helped me is to be intentionally productive. And
Hmm.
so that goes very far, but it is so beneficial to be intentional
Hmm.
and productive. So, what I do is I plan out my days. Um, so, if you were to come into my office, I have a huge calendar, those big calendars that you get at work.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have one of those. I also have my planner, my, paper planner, book planner,
Mhm.
however you say it. I
Mhm.
have that, but I also have a notebook. And in this notebook, I literally have a productivity hour
Mhm.
every weekend where I sit down and I figure out, okay, what am I supposed to do next week? What are the things that are coming to my mind that I need to do? And so I have this productivity hour to figure it out for the next week and plan it. I also have organization in my house. And when you have organization, when things have a home in your home, it makes life so much easier to be productive
Yes.
because you are able to manage your time wisely. And then one of the things that I do is I have a kitchen command center. So I realize that not all my kids, most of my kids can read. And
Mhm.
even though they don't have cell phones, they still need to know what's going on. And
Yeah.
so I have a kitchen command center, a wall I took in my kitchen, and I have a cork board. And on that cork board, I have emergency things to know. I have a calendar that's filled for the month of things that are happening. Things are highlighted in different colors. So everybody knows what's going on.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, and that keeps everybody straight. Honestly, it keeps everybody straight. And I tell you that even my husband, he went away Thursday. Yeah, he went away Thursday. And he knew on the calendar, hey, you have something going on Saturday at 7. So I'll be back home on Saturday by 4. I didn't have to say anything to him.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have to remind him. It was already on the
It was
calendar.
already communicated because you put it on the board. Absolutely. See, it's about systems. I keep telling people all the time, listen, people think I'm anal when it comes to organization and
Nope.
systems. And I be telling them, listen, you have to have a strategy. You can't
Yes.
just be living life just by the
Nope.
seat of your pants and think things are just going to happen for you. It doesn't work
Right.
that way. You know what I
Nope.
mean? You have to have a system down, and as you said, that productivity hour, that's amazing. To actually
Yes.
be intentional and sit down, okay, I'm going to map out my week. I'm going to map out
Hmm.
whatever and include your family in it.
Yes.
That is wonderful. That way they know what's going on, and I don't believe that kids are too little. I think
No.
honestly, I think you're training them up the right way. You're teaching them they need to be intentional about everything they're doing, to stay organized. And these are the skills they're going to be able to use throughout their whole life. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Even past
Hmm.
the home, how to stay organized, how to be intentional, how to use your time effectively. It honestly, it burns me up when people say, "I wish I had more than 24 hours."
Ah,
Listen, you got time.
you
You got
do.
time. You
You
just committed to
do.
the wrong things. That's the problem.
Exactly.
So commitment is not the issue. The issue is you're committed to the wrong things. So
Right.
we have time. We really make time for what we want to make time for. You know what I mean? So if you can just look at the time, I do something called a 24-hour time log
Hmm.
with people, and I ask them to do is go through 24 hours of your day. Do a routine like a time log. Write down your routine tasks from morning to night, what you do,
Right.
and then write down how much time it takes you to do those tasks.
Mm.
Okay, and then look back at it and look if you go over 24 hours, you know that you done wasted your time
Mm.
somewhere. If you're under 24 hours, that means you're missing time. So
Okay.
it's kind of like a scientific, objective way to look at stuff. So then you look and you go back and look like, it took me like 2 hours to groom in the morning. Is that necessary? Where
Right.
can I adjust my time at? I mean, dang, like we're just about to go in the wrong way. I know it takes me a minute to get fabulous, but come on now, 2 hours? Get ready. No, you need to cut the time down somewhere. You need to
Yeah.
adjust those time around so you can be able to have time to do the things that you want to do. That's what we talk about when we talk about time management. You don't need more than 24 hours. You just need to use your time effectively. It doesn't matter if you're working, it does not matter. Use your time effectively. So that's amazing. And I think you already talked about how your family life has improved. It sounds like you're telling me the kids are on board. The
Yeah.
husband doesn't, you don't need to be nagging him. He's on board because he knows what's
Yeah.
going on in the household. So that is amazing. That's a great
Yeah.
strategy. I may start, I have something similar, but I need to learn from you. Let me know. You ain't your clients. I get some color code. I like that. My son would
You
be so
are
silly.
hilarious.
My
So
son will
what
be so sick of me.
I
Like,
so
Mom,
I
don't.
actually have a productivity training for working moms where I actually go through this process. And it was so awesome because I actually did one at the beginning of September. And September, it's not only my birthday month, but it is the month where you are supposed to refocus your time and your energy. So I felt
Mhm.
it was most appropriate to have this productivity hour training in September so that working moms could refocus and understand that it is a system. And I believe a system is something that saves you stress, it
Mhm.
saves you time, it
Yep.
saves you energy, and it saves you money.
Oh, yes.
And so, what is it that you can do during this productivity hour that will help you do all of those things? And so I actually teach them how to do that so that they can come out and say, oh, I can do this all in a day. Because if you think about it, we have 24 hours in a day. We have 8 hours to sleep, hypothetically, 8 hours to work, hypothetically, and then 8 hours of playtime. So take out the commute for those of us who live in big cities or surrounded by big cities. Take out your commute time and take out the time that is prepping you to prepare for your commute, prepare for your work day because you're at home now. Look how much time you have. Look at all the money that you're saving because you're not commuting, because you're not going out to eat every single day like you were when you were in the office.
Yeah.
What can you do now with those extra resources, time and money, to give you the productivity that you need? And so it's so important that we take this time now to think about those things. This past week was National Get Organized Week. And what I've been telling people all the time is, hey, how can you get organized? Because when you are organized, you can be productive. You
Yeah.
can see how much time you have because
Yeah.
you're not, there's less chaos when you're organized. There's less
Mhm.
things you have to go through. And one of the examples I used was our makeup and our cosmetics.
Mhm.
Think about all the stuff. uh, My makeup bag. Think about, I got 6 of these. I have 6 makeup bags. And some people think it's a little crazy, but I organize them.
Mhm.
One of them is for my lip gloss, one is for my lipstick, one is for, foundation, one is for, but when you're organized, it's less chaotic because I know I'm going
Where
in this
things are.
makeup bag. Exactly. And that's using your time wisely. That's being productive.
Right.
And so, what can you do that will save you the time, the energy, the money, the stress to live the life that you need to live?
Right. Right. That is so good. So you said you did that training. Do you have anything else upcoming that you want to share to the viewers, and how can the viewers get in contact with you? They need to.
Yes. So the next training is going to be on Friday, October 23rd at 3 p.m. I realize that that is a time where most of us are working. But if you still go ahead and register for that particular training, you will get the recording. The next one will be in November, but I try to do that at least once a month, the productivity training once a month. And it's really good to have the live version because you get to be around other people and ask
Right.
questions and so forth.
Right. Right.
Um, but yeah,
Amazing. And how can people reach out to you, whether it's a productivity training or just connect with you, period? Like,
absolutely. You can find me on social media. I am at Visionary Initiatives on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. And then you can also head over to my website, which is www.visionary-initiatives.com.
amazing. Yes, so people can be able to connect with you. You are the bomb. I don't think they say that anymore. So forgive me, y'all. I'm old. I'm old. I just got a
I
youthful
know.
face. I just got a youthful face, but I'm old. So speaking of training, so I also have a training coming up soon. Haven't dropped the deets on it, but right now I'm having people apply. First of all, you have to follow the directions. Okay, people don't be following the directions. You need to register then apply. Okay, it's at womanarise.co
Hmm.
slash invites. So womanarise.co slash invite. And it's a private training, so it's very exclusive. You have to register and you have to apply for it. And then, of course, my team will look over it and see who fits where. if it's
Mhm.
best fit. And then I will reach out to those, and then you'll get the process of how to secure your spot. And it is going to be a
Okay.
private training where I'm going to teach you how to be able to live that life that you want to live, that life of peace, prestige, purpose, and prosperity, because you can. I always tell people, don't wait, create the life that you want. I mean, Jonathan
Yes.
says that God comes to give us a life, and a life abundantly, right? So
Yeah.
we not playing small. We're not continue living in mediocrity. We have one life, so we need to be living it to the fullest. So I am doing that private training coming soon. I'll be dropping the deets on it soon, but go ahead and register and apply for that training. It's going to be really, really good. All right, and then those who want to follow me, I'm on Instagram, Womanize Academy, also Miss Grace Enable on Instagram, Smile Biz LLC on Facebook. Also, my website is www.smilebizllc.com, so you can reach me out there as well. Anyway, I don't know if people are going to have questions or not, but I don't really see any. So if you catch a replay, you have any questions, just send us a DM, email us as well. We can be able to see how we can help you. Thank you so much, Latika, for coming on. I really appreciate you. So
Thank you for having me, Grace.
no problem. You know you my sis. You know you my sis. So no problem. I appreciate you. I really appreciate you. So
Yes.
all right, let me go ahead and end the broadcast.